For question number 4, create and play a memory game that matches equations with their graph for linear, quadratic, and exponential functions. So you can come up with where it says create and play a memory game. You want to do equations and graphs. So however many you want to create, again, you can type these in, or as you're playing, you can flip over after you've matched everything. You can take a picture so that we can see it. For linear, remember that's y equals mx plus b. Make up equations, type them in on Desmos, find a graph, and then sketch that graph. And I don't know how many linear ones you want to make. And then you can go on to quadratic. When you do quadratic, the equation that we use is y equals x squared. And remember that you can also change that equation up a little bit. You can do y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where you put numbers in for a, b, and c. Anything with that x squared is going to give you a parabola. So we want to use this equation right here so that we see how it moves, how it becomes more thin, more narrow, how it shifts, where is your y-intercept, all of those things. And again, you can type that in on Desmos and then sketch a graph on your paper. Or you can do printouts. If you have a printer at home, paste it onto like some kind of Word document or Google Docs so that they're not necessarily huge, and you can print them out, cut them out, and then match them that way. And then your last one is exponential functions. This is what we were working on before spring break. This is y equals a b to the x power. So you're going to put in numbers for the a and the b, and remember when they're side by side that means multiply. So it might be best to put your b in parentheses whenever you put those numbers in there. And let me go back and remind you that you would put numbers in for m and b on your linear. And again, you can type this into Desmos and it will give you a graph, and you can do a snippet or a screenshot and put this onto Google Docs and then cut them out and actually do the matching. Mix them up first so that you can challenge yourself to do that. Number 5, play a card game, a board game, or put a puzzle together. What math skills and or critical thinking and problem solving skills did you use to be successful at the game? Here's a link to game ideas if needed. So this one might be kind of fun if you are watching your siblings, or you have another sibling that has to do some kind of thing like this where you're using strategies or problem solving. You guys can both knock this out together. If you're watching your siblings, this might be a way to kind of keep them entertained for a little bit. You're just going to play a card game. And then whenever you're putting this in on your answer document below, you need to tell me what game you played, and you also need to include what math skills and or critical thinking and problem skills did you use. Most likely the game that you have in your closets or that you are finding online might include the critical thinking and problem solving skills, unless it is a math specific game. My daughter is learning multiplication, so we've been doing card games. We've been playing multiplication battle. So you can also do that if you have a younger sibling who needs to practice some math skills. So you can do something like that. And if you wanted to include a video or something like that, that would also be interesting to see. Or you can take a picture, or you can just use your words and explain. Box 6. When creating a Venn diagram to compare and contrast linear and quadratic functions. Okay, a Venn diagram, if you don't know what that is, there's active links that you can click on right here, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is. Basically, a Venn diagram is when you have two pieces that overlap. Okay, so we're comparing and contrasting linear. So one circle is going to represent all things that are linear, and the other one's going to be quadratic. The space in the middle is what they have in common because they overlap. They have the same. So this is a place where you're going to write what they have that's the same. And then over here on each side, you're going to write what's different for each thing. So something that a linear function has that a quadratic doesn't would go in this linear circle, and then the same thing over there. If you have something that is unique to quadratic but linear doesn't have, you go over there. And again, I can help you with those equations. If you want to guess and check, you can keep it general and just talk about it, or you can type in some examples. So y equals mx plus b for your lines, and y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Oh my goodness, I don't know what just happened. There we go, plus c. All right. So again, you can talk about their shapes. You can talk about things that they have in common. You can talk about, you can even include it to what Desmos can do for both of these things, for your linear and quadratic functions. You can talk about key attributes. We did a writing sample with key attributes. Key attributes talk about your x-intercepts, your y-intercepts. The parabola has a whole lot of key attributes that have special names. And then again, for your lines can do a couple different things, so you can talk about those. And again, remember, you're not doing all of these boxes. You are only picking 3. Okay, so kind of look at each one, decide which one you like best, and then go